Morning. I'm Arlie Powell. We're here at Petals from the Past Nursery near Jemison, Alabama. Our topic this morning is pruning muscadines. Muscadine plant is native to the southeast. It's the Latin name Vitis rotundifolia. Most people in this area or across the southeast are familiar with muscadines. It's a wonderful plant. We prune it a little differently than we do a bunch grape. So what I want to show you today is how, if those of you who have these or those of you who are training them and working with them, what you need to look for when you start pruning. First of all, the plants you're seeing here are 10 years old, and they're pruned every year. Annual pruning is necessary. We develop what we call spurs, and the spurs are individual branches that are branched themselves, and they will fruit over a long period of time. Muscadines may live 20 years, 30 years, or longer. So it depends on the care they get, but they do require annual pruning. One of the things that we want to do with them is we're going to take off all but 2 or 3 buds of last year's shoots. For example, if you look at this shoot right here, look how long this shoot is, all the way back. And I'm going to make a cut here just to show you what we do. Generally, we prune also once or twice in summertime to reduce the length of these, but this is our wintertime pruning action. Now, one of the things you look for, if you notice where my hand is right here, that's a tendril. Tendrils wrap around branches, so when you're pruning, you want to try to remove those that are wrapping around branches. But this is all of last year's growth, so all I'm going to do is I'm going to come into this point right here, and I'll count 1, 2, 3, and I've cut this entire shoot off, and I have left 3 buds on this shoot. If you can see this one right here, 1, 2, 3. And we'll show you shortly how much fruit you can get off of those, or the way they develop with the fruit potential. Now the other thing, look at this one. This one, again, back here is older wood. Notice the coloration, it's kind of a gray. When you get toward last year's growth, which starts right at the end of my hand shear, 1, 2, 3, again, I cut it off. The thing I also do, and I'll show you with the one that's in my hand here, this is last year's fruit stems, if you will. They held last year's crop. It's hard for a commercial producer to go through a planting and prune all these off, but a home gardener can do that. It's a matter of doing just what I'm doing right here with my hand shear. I'm literally cutting that little structure off what's left on the plant. And that's a good practice, because it's that little structure that harbors much of the disease that you have on muscadines. But basically, all that we're doing, again, right here, you're counting 1, 2, 3 buds, no more than that, and cutting it off. And that's last year's growth. That is, these are called cordons. This big branch to my left, big branch to my right. We're on a single wire trellis, so we have 2 cordons and many spurs that fruit. And this is basically what we do when we prune, and we'll do that same thing each year. What I'd like to do right now is show you a completed pruned muscadine vine. And what you see here, I mentioned earlier, we normally prune these from early to mid-February up until about early to mid-March. That's a normal pruning time. Winter came very quick and left us this year with that mild winter, so the plants are a little ahead of normal. But basically, I said spurs. This is a spur right here in my hand. This is a branched spur. Here's a branch, another branch, here's a branch, and notice there are those little 2 to 3 bud shoots which we just previously cut to fruit this year. Notice here is another spur. It's branched several times because we've been pruning it for 10 years. Notice these shoots, 2 to 3 buds, and if you notice here, little buds are just beginning to break. Right here, you can see it, buds breaking here. But we separate these out so that they're not all on top of each other. This is what we mean by a spur fruiting system for muscadines. If this were a bunch grape California, commonly they would take this entire cordon and take it off every year and renew the cordon. We don't do that with muscadines. This is a totally different type of pruning system, But notice these come out like this and then they arch over, so it spreads out your fruiting surface. This is a nice technique when done like this on a single wire trellis, or if you prefer a double wire trellis, that's very commonly the same thing. You're just having a lot more area to prune.